We are here in Dover, England, witnessing Gertrude Elderly make history in the world of sports. As Elderly swims the channel, you can see the excitement in her eyes and the great technique she puts into her strokes. She is racing against time and fighting the clock to be the first woman to finish. People don't believe she can do it, but she knows she can. Gertrude Elderly, commonly known as Trudy, was born on October 23, 1905, to her parents Henry Elderly and Gertrude Anna Elderly on the west side of New York. As a kid, she always had an attraction to water. Her family had a cottage in the Highlands, New Jersey, which is where they spent most of their summers. Her father owned a meat market and was the one to teach her how to swim. He did this by putting a rope around her waist when she was a toddler. Elderly had 5 siblings who were all very supportive of her and her love for swimming. Later on in her childhood, she got the measles, which caused some slight hearing loss. Many doctors suggested that she stays out of the water and warned her that it could give her a bad infection and cause more harm. This was very hard for Elderly because of her love for swimming. Elderly soon went on to compete in the 1924 Paris Olympics. She competed in the 4x1 meter freestyle relay. Her teammates were Euphrasia Donnelly, Ethel Lackey, and Marion Wessler, who all set a new record, winning the gold medal. Once she returned home from the Olympics, she went on to swim from Manhattan to Sandy Hook, New Jersey. She completed it in 7 hours and 11 minutes and wanted to beat more world records from then on. In the same year, Elderly started training for her first attempt at the English Channel. In 1925, she made an attempt to swim the channel, but on the 9th hour, her trainer thought she was in trouble and pulled her out. Under the rules of the channel, you were not allowed to touch the swimmers, so when he did that, it disqualified her. Eager and ready to try again, Elderly started to train even harder for her second attempt. At this point, only 5 men had ever completed the route, and Elderly was going to attempt to be the first woman to finish. On August 6, 1926, Elderly started swimming at 7 a.m. on the coast of Cap Gris-Nez. The waters were cold and the waves were choppy. She made direct instructions to her father and coach and told them under no circumstances were they to pull her out of the water unless directed to. She was not alone, and beside her in a boat was her coach, father, and siblings, who were there to support her. Finally, after 14 hours and 31 minutes, she reached the shore in Kent, England. She had beat the record by 2 hours and could never be prouder. Since the waters were so cold over Elderly's swimsuit, she covered herself in sheep grease, olive oil, and Vaseline for insulation. This may have been very uncomfortable, but kept her warm and helped soothe the jellyfish stings. After all the fame Elderly had for swimming the English Channel, she soon started to become less famous as more people started to swim. In 1933, Elderly suffered from a severe back injury, causing her to stop swimming for a long time. After seeing about 19 neurologists and all of them saying she would never swim again, she beat the odds, and in 1939, she swam in the aquaticade attraction for the New York World's Fair. Sadly, after this, as the doctors predicted, Elderly soon became deaf. Once she found this out, she stopped swimming completely, but never stopped helping the swimming community. She taught kids how to swim at the New York School for the Hard of Hearing. Elderly spent her last few years at a nursing home in New Jersey. She died at the age of 98 on November 30, 2003. Her record for the channel stood until 1950 when another American woman beat it. Elderly helped open up new opportunities for women's sports and will always be remembered. To me, the sea is like a person, like a child that I've known a long time. It sounds crazy, I know, but when I swim in the sea, I talk to it. I never feel alone when I'm out there. Gertrude Elderly.